and illegal activities that we're seeing as the Trump administration enforces their chaotic agenda on our communities. Some of what I'm going to share briefly this evening is going to be old news to some of you who are active in those efforts. Please show some grace to folks for whom this might be newer information. I'll move through it pretty concisely, so hopefully there's some time for questions, even though I know y'all have had some productive conversations this evening. I'm on the policy team at ACLU. I'm not on the legal team. I'm not an attorney, but even if I was, this would not constitute legal advice. If you need legal advice, seek out an attorney. But we're going to talk about some high-level know your rights information that is important for folks to have in these unprecedented times. So first, I'm going to screen share. All right. If I do that, can folks see my screen? All right. I'll skip over the story I usually share, and I'll just say briefly, we're a membership organization at the ACLU of Oregon with more than 50,000 members and supporter donors. We're nonprofit, nonpartisan. We don't support any candidate for any position, but we have supported ballot measures in the past, and we're an affiliate of the national ACLU, but we are a distinct organization from the national ACLU, as is each state affiliate distinct from the national ACLU, although, of course, we work very closely together. Our support for immigrants and refugees in Oregon has gone through the Oregon for All Coalition, where ACLU sits alongside with PCOON, organizations like Innovation Law Lab, and many other organizations to support our immigrant and refugee friends and neighbors here in Oregon. This is, of course, a heightened and frightening moment. ICE is adapting and diversifying their tactics, leading to more detentions, and community members are taking to the streets to express their dissent and protect their families. This is a couple months old slide. I've given this presentation pretty regularly. Obviously, the words here are more true than ever, given the events of the last several weeks. It's a particularly frightening time. And again, we thank you for the work that many of you are doing in your communities. The Oregon for All Coalition supports the Portland Immigrant Rights Coalition. It has the word Portland, but that's quite a bit of a misnomer at this point. It's a statewide effort that PERC is running. There constantly a need for volunteer support, everything from dispatchers who run their hotline, legal observers, and ICE verifiers, folks that can verify rumors of ICE activity in a community. A false rumor, and there are many false rumors of ICE activity, can cause a lot of damage, just like actual ICE activity, causing folks not to go to school, seek out healthcare, not to go to work, not to frequent a local business. So we put a lot of effort into trying to verify rumors of ICE activity before taking any action. If you believe that you've become aware of ICE activity in your area, please reach out to PERC. There's the PERC hotline. We encourage folks to call or text that anytime. You can also email PERC. If you or someone in your life might need immigration legal services, we strongly encourage folks not to wait to reach out to ECHO, which is funded by Universal Representation, which ACLU and other organizations work hard to get passed through the state legislature. There's information about the Equity Corps right there. Again, we encourage folks not to wait, reach out about that today. You can find this information as well and more resources, numerous Know Your Rights materials in many languages, some toolkits around safeguarding your organization and your schools, and all that can be found at the Oregon for All website, oregonforall.us. So please don't hesitate to reach out to that website. Now I'll move real quickly through some of the basic Know Your Rights materials. Constitutional rights for all residents. Based on Fifth Amendment rights, you do not need to speak to a law enforcement agent, answer questions, or sign any documents. Based on Fourth Amendment rights, an agent cannot enter your home unless they have a warrant to enter, signed by a judge or magistrate with your name on it that they slide under the door. I'm going to talk a little bit more about warrants later. Do not open the door if an immigration agent is knocking. Do not answer any questions from an immigration agent if they try to talk to you. You have the right to remain silent. Do not sign anything without first speaking to a lawyer. You have the right to speak to a lawyer. If you're outside of your home, ask the agent if you're free to leave. If they say yes, leave calmly. It's not lost on us that folks might have seen some scary headlines in the last week or so. We here at the ACLU of Oregon stand by the constitutional rights of all residents here in our state. Our Oregon Attorney General, Dan Rayfield, has issued guidance on our sanctuary laws here in Oregon. Oregon law prohibits state and local government, including police, from helping to enforce federal immigration laws without an order signed by a judge. It's critical that we clarify that Oregon sanctuary laws do not stop deportations or federal prosecutions for immigration-related crimes in Oregon. ICE, as you all are likely well aware, can and absolutely does operate in Oregon. It is simply that public employees in Oregon, public resources can't be used to aid in enforcing immigration laws without an order signed by a judge. And I'm going to get to those orders signed by a judge in a moment. We found increasingly in the second Trump administration that ICE may seek to take actions in sensitive areas such as schools, houses of worship, and hospitals. They are not protected under Oregon law. And Oregon law allows any person to bring a civil action against an agency that violates these laws. The law allows a person to sue the violating agency, asking a judge to order them to stop violating sanctuary law. So if you all become aware of a government agency, including a law enforcement body, that is violating Oregon sanctuary law, civil damages can be brought against them. And you can report that to the Oregon Attorney General's office to make sure that we stop those violations of sanctuary law. If ICE comes to a workplace or to an organization, a church, any place, an organization like that, before an immigration action, any place with employees should prepare for a potential I-9 audit. As I said, this presentation can't constitute legal advice. We encourage folks to reach out to a qualified immigration lawyer now before anything happens, and that can be done through universal representation and the Equity Core Network. We encourage any organization that you're working with or business to make a written response plan and practice with their workers, including a Know Your Rights training for staff. Train your staff, do not run away. If ICE agents show up, running away could give ICE a legal reason to arrest workers. Do not give ICE agents permission to enter your workplace, and do not answer questions or give any information. You and the workers have the right to stay silent and to ask to talk to a lawyer. Give the workers a list of lawyers or organizations that can provide high-quality, free, or low-cost immigration legal advice for them and their families, and connect with an immigration response network in your area. If ICE comes to a workplace, they can enter a public area. ICE agents are allowed to enter any area open to the public. You can say, I'm the employer, you cannot go to other areas of the workplace without my permission. If they try to enter a private area, say this is a private area, you can't enter without a judicial warrant signed by a judge. Do you have a judicial warrant? If staff feel comfortable, and we understand that there might be varying levels of comfort, particularly as some of the frightening headlines we've seen recently, staff are allowed to take video or photos during an immigration action. They have a right to document what law enforcement is doing. If the agents have a judicial warrant signed by a judge, ask for a copy and read it. Make a copy if you can. You can still decline to give consent for the search. Watch the agents carefully. Keep track of what they do. See if they're following what's written on the warrant. For example, the warrant may limit the areas that agents can search. If ICE agents try to question you or the workers, remind the worker they have a right to stay silent and to ask for a lawyer. When immigration agents leave, record or write down everything you saw. This will help you remember details when you talk to a lawyer later. A judicial warrant, which would give ICE agents the right to search a private area. And any business or organization can delineate what's an area open to any member of the public entering off the street, and what's a private area that people are not welcome. A judicial warrant must include the name of a court, a case number, the signature of a judge, the date and time issued, and a section that describes the specific areas to be searched. ICE can often come with an ICE warrant that's issued by a federal agency and not a judge. It'll say warrant for the arrest of a quote-unquote alien, and it's signed by an officer, not a judge. This is not a judicial warrant and does not give them the right to search the private areas of business. Ultimately, if folks want to get involved, we encourage them to reach out to PERC. They're the best way to get directly involved in this moment of crisis. If you're not in a position to volunteer, As you can imagine, they're doing a lot of work right now, so you can raise money or directly donate. I'm happy to take a few questions. Again, I'm not one of the members of our staff who is an attorney, but even if I was, they wouldn't give legal advice in a situation like this. We encourage folks to reach out to that ECHO network for direct questions about legal advice. But happy to take a moment to chat briefly.